Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode of Ice Cold Reviews with your host, Tropical Yeti. Today, we're covering one of the most anticipated movies of the year,
Godzilla vs. Kong.
With this one, it is pretty clear.
Mild spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen the movie before, click that like button, hit that sussy subscribe, and then come back after you watch it.
Here is how this is going to work. We are going to be covering the good, the bad, the surprises and Easter eggs, and then I'm gonna give it an ice cold verdict.
Without further ado, let's get into the review.
Part 1, the good. This movie looks spectacular. I could not take my eyes off the TV for a second, and that is surprising considering my mediocre attention span. Cinematography, great. Visuals, amazing. CGI, stupendous. And the biggest improvement of all, the lighting. Gone are the days where we had to sit through 2 hours of a kaiju film where everything is dark and under the rain.
I'm looking at you, 2014 Godzilla.
While some people have shared that this takes the neon ambient lighting to stratospheric, Tron levels of madness, I, for one, am a fan. Some of the recent MonsterVerse movies have made it a trope to have every single battle covered in torrential rain and darkness, so this was a much-needed departure. The movie-going experience for me was sensational. Now, granted, I did see it at home, and I do have a 4K TV, so the visuals were looking crispier than a spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. For example, the fight on the aircraft carrier was silky smooth to the point that it looked like something straight out of a Pixar movie. Call it Finding Nemo, Godzilla Special Edition. I simply cannot stress the importance of the visual element here because of how well the CGI blended with the ambient lighting and the landscapes. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about the meat and potatoes. How good was the fight? This movie delivers like Michael Jordan in the finals. Mwah. Perfection. This was basically a give or take movie where both of them had a chance to shine, with one round going to one and one round going to the other. And then, obviously, you had the final battles.
Battles? Did I say battles? Plural? Oops.
My favorite moment was definitely the final fight. Both monsters landed some solid licks in until we had finally decided on a winner. Well, sorta. Just when Kong was about to prove his dominance, Zilla hit him with those 1-2 combos, including the tail for good measure, and then stood over his face shouting Martha into the screen. If you saw any sort of trailer breakdown, you know what happened next though. Obviously, we couldn't have a clear-cut winner, so they teamed up and gave that dynamic duo Clapper 3000, and just like that, Mechagodzilla is going to need a Best Buy appointment with the Geek Squad. That was the good, and now the bad. The humans are the boring part. That being said, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henley, and Kaylee Hoddle are the clear standouts. They were pretty good at driving the story forward with good banter, great solid moments, and just general awesomeness. Also, my celebrity crush, Asa Gonzalez, is in this movie, so I would give this movie a 10 out of 10 just for that. Part number 3, surprising moments and Easter eggs. The movie was under 2 hours long, which had me pleasantly surprised. No need to rehash the Batman vs. Superman trope of having an extra 45 unnecessary minutes there just to yell at the screen. Of course, it is Easter egg time. Godzilla finally shoots his garlic breath at his atomic breath at the floor. For those of you that are a little bit more experienced with the franchise, that's what he used to do in some of the older movies. That is how he used to fly. You heard me correctly. This Chungus was using Gecko Airlines all over the Pacific. Another major Easter egg that I did not expect to pop up was from the main man himself, King Kong. In one of the fight scenes, Kong sticks his version of Stormbreaker into Godzilla's mouth. And if you recall correctly, in the original 1962 release of this matchup, he did exactly the same thing with a tree. Finally, there's been an awesome trend where King Kong is always trying to rip apart his opponent's jaws, which to me looks like an amazing callback to the Peter Jackson film. If you haven't gotten the chance to see it, essentially King Kong does the exact same thing to 3 unsuspecting T-Rexes. It's gross. I'ma just leave it at that. Part number 4, the official ice cold verdict. I'll be extremely honest, this movie does not reinvent the wheel, and frankly, it doesn't even need to. It did exactly what it needed to do, show us our favorite kaijus fighting against each other and together with some crispy visuals and a boppin' audio track. As always, the humans were a bit of a nuisance. In some cases, I even saw them as kind of a distraction. But hey, I'm excited that they tried to use some of the lesser known characters to move the plot along, even if some of the other characters fell flatter than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Here it is, everybody, the moment you have been waiting for, the official ice cold verdict. Overall, I am giving this rendition of Godzilla vs. King Kong a solid 8.2 out of 10. This movie is absolutely sensational where it needs to be, and it scrapes by pretty well in the other less important categories. In the end, it gets the Yeti seal of approval. There you go, everybody. That was my official review of the 2021 version of Godzilla vs. King Kong. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming back to the channel and supporting the video. This was an unforgettable movie-going experience, and I am looking forward to doing more reviews like this in the future. You already know how it is. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, before you leave, make sure to hit that notification bell icon so you can get instant notifications every time that I go live or I post a video. As a friendly reminder, I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday right here on YouTube at around 8 p.m. Eastern. If there's any changes to that schedule, I usually release updates on my Instagram, Twitter, and my Discord, so make sure you check all of that in the video description down below. Well, everybody, that is it for me. Thank you so much for supporting, and as always, I will see you on the next one.